Okay, welcome back. I'm Annie with eBay School, and this is part 2 of bulk listing with a CSV file for eBay. This is the part where we learn how to get our images onto the internet. And it might not be super fun, but you only need to get it set up once and then you're good to go. So the deal here is that usually when you do a listing on eBay, you just upload the images one by one as you're listing to eBay's servers. In this case, there is no easy way to host your images on eBay to begin with. You need to store them somewhere else. It does actually move them over in a sense. It transcodes them, but you don't need to know that or care. Just know you need to host your images somewhere else for bulk uploading with a CSV file. And it used to be you could do something nice and simple like Dropbox, but Dropbox has discontinued their public folder service, which is what let you do that. And so most people might think that just getting some regular cheap hosting on whatever, Bluehost, DreamHost, GoDaddy, whatever, would be the next place to look for this. But those cheap hosting plans, when you get one of those, they just put you on a shared server with a billion other people with a cheap hosting plan, and it can be slow, it can be unreliable-ish, and I don't really recommend it. You can do that if you want to, but I think it's going to be more of a pain than you want it to be. And it's also, it's not really intended for image hosting on other sites. It's intended for building your own site with images in it. So it's not optimized for this use case. What I do for hosting eBay images is I use Amazon. And if you are a normal person, you might not know that Amazon has this whole huge division called Amazon Web Services, AWS, that is the backbone of I don't know how many sites on the internet. And it's not just like hosting, it's a very, very complex set of tools. And, well, I won't go into it, but basically it makes a lot of websites work, even really super fancy enterprise level brands, kind of websites. They also, as one of their services, have something called S3, which stands for Simple Storage Service. And yes, compared to many of the things they do, it is simple. Compared to what a normal person would think is simple, maybe not so much. But I'll show you how to do it. This is where I host my images. And why? Because other obvious solutions don't work well. And also because it is insanely cheap. And when I say insanely cheap, I have, thousands of images hosted there. And last month my bill was 17 cents. Yes, cents. 17 cents. So you're not going to have to worry about the cost too much. It's very scalable for you. And, it's priced like you're, running Target.com or something. It's priced for enterprise. So although it's fine to use as just a little wee person, it's really cheap. If for nothing else, it's going to be cheaper than any other web hosting service. So yes, S3 from AWS. And now the how part. First, you have to sign up for an account. I already have an account, of course, so it's going to be a little hard to show you, but I will do the best I can. You go to aws.amazon.com. I have signed into the console because I already have an account, but I think this orange button will be sign up for you. When you sign up, it's just going to ask you your name and password, and nothing complicated. And I think they may even have a deal on where you get a year for free instead of 17 cents a month or whatever, or it'll be less for you at the beginning. It'll be like 9 cents a month. You should then be able to log in, or you'll get to this login page. You choose root user, the top one, which is chosen by default, and you type your username and hit next. And then you do the world's hardest CAPTCHA. These are always really hard on this site, so don't feel bad if you get it wrong a few times. And your password, and sign in. You'll probably see something like this. And your goal here is to find S3. These are all the services they offer. And like I said, it's complex. S3 is under storage, which for me is right here. And you just click this link. After you've done that once, it'll be in your recently used services and it'll be easier to find. So the first thing we want to do is create what's called a bucket. And a bucket is basically, you can think of it as a file folder or just a destination on your on the server, a place to put stuff. It's a bucket. You just fill your bucket with pictures. So you click the create bucket and give it a name. Mine is the same as my eBay store because that's what I use it for. The region should fill out automatically as to where you are. So just choose the closest one if it doesn't. You don't need to copy existing settings. Object ownership, leave this default one checked. This just means that you own your stuff in the file permission sense of the word. For this one, you want to actually turn this off, block all public access, because we want public access. We want this image to be publicly seeable on the internet, specifically by eBay, which will pull it into your listing. So this doesn't mean people can tamper with your Amazon account, your AWS account, or your bucket or anything. It means the file that you upload is accessible. And then you have to say you understand that, which I'm sure you do after my awesome explanation. And we don't need to do bucket versioning. We don't need to do tags. And we don't want to do encryption. And we don't need to do anything under advanced settings. And then you hit create bucket, which I'm not going to do, but you will. And when you do that, you'll get a bucket in your list with the name that you said. So mine is pinpointed. You can click it to go into it, and it will show you all the things that you've put in your bucket thus far. You can see I had a less sophisticated naming scheme when I started, but it doesn't really matter. What we're going to do with our bucket is take all those images that we prepared in lesson 1 of this tutorial, and we're going to put them in the bucket. So to do that, we're on our bucket page, Amazon S3, and then your bucket, and you hit upload. Then you can drag and drop your files into this bucket, or you can click this button to add them from your computer. So I'm gonna grab mine, drag and drop style. I'm just gonna upload one for now, just so I don't take up a lot of time, but you can upload as many as you like. It will take a while if you're doing a bunch, so grab yourself, your cup of coffee or whatever. So you just literally drag and drop them in there, and they will populate in this list. If they're in this list, you hit upload, and here's our progress bar. So that was fast, but it will take longer if you have a lot. We are all set in that we can see our images with the names that I explained in lesson 1, the date, underscore, number, are up here. Counterintuitively, you now click this close button up here, And now you'll get a list of everything in your bucket again. To find those images that we just uploaded, which you want to do, you want to type the prefix. This box here says find objects by prefix. And this is why I had you name them with a word before the number or the date or whatever. So I'm going to type the date that's on my files, which is 14 January 22. Hit return to search, and there's the images that I uploaded. Once you have them, and you'll have a list here. It might be one page, it might be multiple pages. Mine's one page because I only have 2 things at the moment. But you want to select them all by hitting this button up here. And then, just trust me on this, we're going to go to Actions and go all the way down. And you might not see this whole list and it's confusing. You might have to actually scroll within this list. So if you're not seeing the whole thing, you have to scroll. And you want to choose Make Public using ACL, which is you're setting the file permissions so that they're public. Remember when we set up the bucket, we said we want the capability of making files public. Now we're doing that. So they give you another warning, but it's okay. And you just say Make Public. When that's done, and it might take a few seconds, it might not, you'll see this page, which is a little confusing because you don't see anything in your list, but this list is the things that failed. So if anything didn't go public, it will be in this list. If it's empty, that's good. And up here, successfully edited public access on 2 objects. That's good. That's what we wanted. And it failed 0 objects. So again, counterintuitively, you're going to click close up here. Here we are with our list of things, and there's no indication that they're public, but they are. Now, if you had more than 1 page of these, you now want to go onto page 2. Using this pagination thing, it will say 1, 2. So click 2, and then repeat the same process by selecting all and making them public using the thing at the bottom of the actions. So that's actually all we need to do with Amazon for now. I may leave this lesson just there, keep it to the Amazon thing because it's a lot. You know, their user interface is not for the faint of heart at times. So your goal for this lesson was to have signed up for an AWS account and uploaded your tidy files up to a new bucket with a name of your choosing, and you made them public. And that's where we're going to leave it. And then next, we're going to actually start doing something that might make some sense. Thanks. I hope this was helpful. Take care.